Hello and welcome, everybody. We have had some insane technical difficulties here, but we're happy to be live streaming our draft coverage. My name is Fossil. I got Rohan here with me. Jay is currently indisposed. You guys probably know him better. Vinay is, you probably also know him better. He's the one who does most of our draft content. He has been doing that this year, and he's there to cover this in person, I think fittingly. So, as things go, we are going to be covering what's going on. And so far, Caleb Wilson just got picked fourth. Everything holding the form so far. I don't think, no surprises. Nobody would have expected anything else. But from here on out, it's probably going to get a lot more interesting. Rohan, how are we feeling?
I am very nervous. Very, very, very nervous. Listen, I didn't get a chance because I've been very busy to talk about my thoughts on these prospects leading into this. I am not a Nate Ament hater, right? I brought him up to Vinay a couple weeks ago and he wanted me to apologize. I refused to. I can see why a team would be like, this guy can be something special. He has a lot of guard skills for a guy who is 6'10", basically, and will probably be 6'11" pretty soon. All right, that amount of fluidity, I can see why you would sell yourself on him. That being said, not at 9. Sorry, not when Kingston Flemings is on the board, Braden Burries. You really have to think about it. If KF is off, Mara's off, Burries is off, you still probably are getting, I don't know, a Wagler, somebody good at 9, to where I don't think it justifies taking him. I'm going to be honest. So I hope it's a smokescreen.
Yeah, same here. How do you feel about trading down? Because, I think most relevantly, there's reports that the Mavs and Thunder had discussed the trade down from 9 to 12 and 17, I believe.
If this isn't a smokescreen and our whole brain trust is completely in on Nate Ament, I will follow the tides, okay? But trading down makes more sense in that case, right? If this is to drive his value up so that if somebody wants him, they trade to 9 to get him, that could also be smart, right? There's like a variety of ways that this could work, but I don't see any world in which the Mavs pick at 9 and also pick Nate Ament. And if they do, I'm completely lost.
Yeah, well, so far we're just waiting for the Clippers to make their pick at number 5. Yeah, I think I'd be kind of disappointed too if we picked Ament. But I wasn't really that nervous leading up to today. But at this point, all you can do is just sit back and watch. Yeah.
Well, hey, Michael is on the board, Darius Acuff is on the board, Kingston Flemings is on the board, and LeBaron is going to be there if you trade down or not, right? Most likely. So I just don't see anybody picking LeBaron in the top 12, really, outside of the Mavericks. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. There's still talent there. But we'll see what they do. We have 90 seconds, but I'm fully expecting like Burries or Wagler to go here. And then I guess Brooklyn is next and then Sacramento. There has been conversations about Sacramento maybe moving towards Kingston Flemings, which I'm very, very concerned about because I am higher on Kingston Flemings than I think I have any real reason to be. And I don't even know if that's true. I think he has so much savvy. His deceleration reminds me of old Derrick Rose, like old Derrick Rose in New York when he was doing a good job of keeping that team afloat in some of those years. And that's a huge compliment because usually you don't come into the league with that level of feel. And he has that. He has a level of defense. His frame may be slight, but he plays way above it. And that also speaks to a different kind of feel. So, if Kingston Flemings is there at 9 and you pick Ament over him, I think this is going to be worse than Desmond Bane for me. Brutally honest. This is going to be because I was still, hope. I was like, I can see the vision on Josh Green. I can see a vision with Nate Ament, just not any vision close to Michael Brown Jr. Sorry, or Kingston Flemings. Just can't see it.
Yeah, I think it hurts that there are more than likely, even if all the guards get selected, there are still plenty of great options there at 9, even including the Michigan guys. We have their head coach now coaching for us, and Nate Ament would not be the best pick there, of course, at least in many of our opinions. The Clippers have selected, I don't know who yet, I think, but the pick is in.
It is. We are waiting. They're really holding on Wagler right now. So
Yeah, and then they pan to Aka for a second.
I don't see there being any way that it's Acuff at 5. I'm sorry.
Probably not, but a lot of analysts would have him as one of their BPAs just off of the raw talent that he has. Never mind the fit. Okay, let's see. Pick 5 is in.
With the 5th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the LA Clippers select Keaton Wagler from the University of Illinois.
What's your reaction to that, Fossil?
Huh?
What's your reaction to that?
I think that was, it's a great pick. He probably is number 5 BPA at that spot on a lot of people's draft boards. He's just he projects to be such a great plug and play player. He has a super high IQ, great, skills as far as spacing the floor goes, and his footwork is just elite, especially, for somebody who's only entering the NBA right now. I think there's a very natural fit between, him and Kawhi. I think they're going to make each other's lives a lot easier. So yeah, he's a very safe player for pretty much any team to take. And I mean, God, the Clippers are so lucky. They only have this pick because Indiana made such a dumb trade for Zubats. But yeah, I mean, good job. I would have liked him at 9. There are a few, mock drafts that had him going at 9, but that always felt a little far fetched to me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, his combination of size and skill and versatility is so far above anybody near his frame that it was a pipe dream, him falling to 9 in the first place. Although him next to Cooper, I mean, this is a guy that you see 6'5", and you're like, I don't think he's 6'5", right? It's a similar thing with KF, but with him, it's just he plays. I can't even explain it. It's just that's a winning player.
Yeah, the spacing between him, Garland, Kawhi, they have, I think, several stretch fours, like, can kind of loosely fit Derrick Jones Jr. into that. It's going to be dangerous for sure. And do I think the Clippers are automatically going to be like a great top tier playoff team next season? It might be a little too soon to say that. You got to see how free agency and whatnot shakes out. And again, of course, you got to assume like health for these guys. They had a relatively healthy season from Kawhi this year. He had one of his best seasons of his career, and they still finished as low as they did. They didn't even make the playoffs, right? So, yeah. That doesn't mean, of course, that you don't try every single season, but just saying, they need some things to break in their favor. Okay, so Brooklyn is up next to number 6, and the pick isn't in yet, but we're going to see in just a moment. So
I could see this pick and the next one going a lot of different ways. I think Atlanta is probably circling in on Mara unless Brooklyn takes him here. But I'll be frank, Mara not being a three-point shooter has kind of made it obvious that he's going to be there, at 8 or 9. So Claxton being moved obviously yesterday gives me an inclination that maybe Brooklyn is looking at him here. If they do pick him, maybe they're going fit, or they really think his level of finesse is at a level of Alperen Şengün. But that 3 ball really, really needs to improve or he's going to be one of those I foresee in a few years that people will be saying, he didn't live up to being the 6th pick.
Yeah. I think, as you said, Mara at 6 makes sense for like from a fit perspective. But at the same time, they just traded for Julius Randle. They still have MPJ, I think. You might need a lead guard, a better one than what they have, the options they have, and they have many, but you might need a lead guard in here at number 6 to really try to tie things together. But and there's still plenty left on the board, but I guess we got to see. The pick is in.
If they want to surprise me here, they're taking Michael, Kingston, or Burries. I'm fully expecting this to be Acuff or Mara.
I have a slight feeling they're going to take Acuff here, but again, who knows?
It just feels very Cam Thomas, right? Seems like the same failure case.
Yeah, but again, like, they dropped in the draft. They're at a semi disappointing slot. Like, you might as well go for like the highest upside here. Acuff, people widely regard him as having one of the highest upsides in the draft, and I think Richie Mavs draft, or formerly known as Mavs draft, he's very high on Acuff himself, and I think we all trust Richie around here. So yeah, that's why it wouldn't surprise me if they go for him here, but. We're going to see Adam Silver announce it in just a moment.
I think you're dead on, because they showed the Brooklyn draft room, and that response does not make sense for Ademara. I'm sorry. It does not.
NBA draft. The Brooklyn Nets select Michael Brown Jr.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Holy shit!
I mean, I think we're all, when we talked about the draft prospects several weeks back and several months back, we've all been high on Michael Brown. So that's not a huge surprise, but I did think I did think they would go Acuff.
Okay, you know what? I was waiting on this to happen. The reason why he was falling on boards was because of his back and the question there. And as soon as that was kind of lifted, there's clear negatives for guys like Acuff. For Michael, once you take away the back, really the sky's the limit. And you saw that in Mavs land clearly. That also existed in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Michael, he's got defensive upside better than Acuff. He's got size. He has, well, people were waffling on his 3-point ability because I think in high school he was a deep range threat. In college, his lone season, not so much. But again, you could probably point at the back issues, which he said he's recovered from. And he does have lead guard characteristics. He also has very high upside. I think it's a fine pick here, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm positive on it. I think Brooklyn made a good choice for sure.
I do, but I also think that there's a clear difference between him and the top of this class. So I don't want to make it seem to Mavs fans as if this is absolutely horrible. But there is, this guy would have made Lively so much better. And I fully expect Acuff to be off the board next at 7. But who knows at this point? Maybe being surprised isn't the worst thing.
Yeah,
because they could take KF right here. I've seen lots of KF right here.
Yeah. I think Acuff is a natural pick for Sacramento, and I don't know, man. That would, if he is the pick, which that means probably Braden Burries is on the board at 9, or Kingston himself. Which again, if we pass up on either of these guys and pick Nate Ament, like I don't want to be mean, but I'd be pretty disappointed.
Please be mean. The pick isn't for the Kings, by the way.
That was quick.
Yes, which makes me think it's probably Acuff, but we have a whole interview with Mike Brown and family to talk over. So I don't know precisely where you can go from here. I don't foresee anyone trading up at 9 to pick Ament unless the Bucks really have fallen in love with him as a project now that they've gotten rid of Giannis. Hey, maybe it could make sense, but I really don't foresee it, not in this draft. So if they pick Nate Ament and this is not a smokescreen, I am going to have the greatest reaction ever, which is just dumbfounded and being silent and wondering what the hell is happening.
Yeah. Okay. Real quickly before anything happens, out of the 3 Michigan guys, assuming they're all still there at 9, which one between Yaxel, Morris Johnson, and Mara would you like the Mavs to draft the most?
I would probably say Morez, just because Lively's health. I think it shores up the front line rotation. Plus, getting rid of Gafford, you're drafting somebody who, alongside Musa, those are your 3 bigs, right? The main guys. You can move forward with that, right? There are weaknesses, but with Mara, the question really is that shot something that will develop? If that shot is something that develops, he is the best big in this class. But otherwise, there is not that big of a difference from the 10th best player in this class and the 17th best player in this class. I really don't, just because there's so much talent. So I would probably say Yaxel if you were saying out of all 3 of them, but Morez for the Mavs.
Gotcha. I think that's fair. Morez is a few years younger than Yaxel and Mara, I believe, and he had a great season. He definitely flashed some stretch 4 ability. I think Yaxel is definitely a good shooter too. Mara, his shot, his from 3 is like, I don't know. I'd put that in the theoretical range at the moment. So I wouldn't project him developing that. I'd focus more on the skills that he already has and does so well. Let's see who the Kings pick right here.
Sacramento Kings select Darius Acuff Jr.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, here is my best estimation of what is happening in the brain trust for the Mavs in the draft office right now. Yaxel and Oklahoma City, there's probably smoke that they want him, but they probably know that they can get him at 12, right? So talking about Ament this much, here's why I don't believe this on its face. With a caveat to why maybe I believe it. There was no leak about the coaching hire. There was no leak about it, which means that there probably wouldn't be a leak if this is something that is coming from as high up as ownership. Now, in the front office, there could be leaks. There are leaks in every front office. But I am choosing to believe that this is for the Bucks. I refuse to believe that the Mavericks are serious. If the Mavericks, with Masai Ujiri at the helm and Mike Schmitz, are genuinely looking at Nate Ament and they're like, this is the guy that we have to pick at 9, I have no idea what they're looking at in basketball. And it's not even that Ament is bad. It's just he's not a top 10 talent.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. But I think, as I read earlier today, a lot of these pro scouts, they do value high school tape pretty heavily, more than I think a lot of, not to say casual, but people who do this not at the pro level or aren't actually with a team, having to value high school. I think a lot of people on draft Twitter, for instance, us included, to the capacity that we're in draft Twitter, we value college performance a lot more. So there's an argument to be made, like, how all these skills translate from high school to possibly the NBA. And again, Ament was for sure a great talent in high school, But we got to see if we don't even
He's
know if he's
still a
the
very
pick.
talented player. I mean,
Yeah.
if his 3-point shot can be above 40% on average, he's the type of player that you can look back and say, okay, yeah, it's good that you took him at 9 or 10. But that's not a guarantee. For every player that we've seen it work out for in Mavs land, we've seen it not work out for like 3 of them. So still waiting on Derek Lively to hit his second 3 after the 2024 NBA Finals. So all right, we're really, really close.
Yeah, I'm freaking nervous, dude. That being said, I do think we are, like, based off how the board has gone so far, I think we're in a real good position to trade back if that is the idea. But then again, I don't know. Dude, if Kingston is on the board at 9, like, you and Vinay have both convinced me with like your arguments in favor of him. It's gonna be hard to pass upon that.
I don't know, man. It's like I don't want to compare guys to Luca, obviously, but there was this thing that you could see in Luca's film early on, even when he wasn't playing great competition. And it's that he was thinking the game, like he was reading and reacting to it in a way that nobody else around him was able to do. And I definitely see that same quality in KF. Like he has certain tools with that deceleration and just generally how he chooses to attack, that he can be the point guard on a championship team. Like I think he's a veteran presence already. He lifts the ceiling of this team, I think, a lot more than even Michael might, unless Michael just had like an amazing shooting season. But obviously that doesn't matter anymore.
Well,
do you think this is going to be Mara?
So,
You think this is going to be Mara?
Honestly, I'm not sure concerning the names that are still on the board. Like, they just got CJ back for one more year. I don't think that really impacts them taking guard, but Kingston would be great for the Hawks too. I think Braden Burries would make some sense for the Hawks, but obviously Mara's a great fit as well. So they have a lot of options.
I can see this also being Kingston Flemings and Mara being the guy available at 9. But knock on wood, that does not happen. I mean, what is the worst case scenario that this could go? That's really my question.
I think the worst case is probably Kingston, because I mean, at least in our opinions, but even still, like, there are plenty of good options after that.
Yeah, you still have Burries, obviously, and even if you trade down, you can still get LeBaron. Like, ultimately, that's why I'm fine with trading down. Also, because there were no trade ups, right? Like that tells you something.
Yeah, and even if we're talking guard prospects, like Ibuka Okori's still there. He is on some draft boards I've seen. He's shot up to the late lotto. I think he's a very valid pick to take in this range. Maybe not exactly at 9, but like in a trade back situation, I'd be more than happy with him.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think 9 is a little bit too much for a project player, especially in this draft where there's just so much talent. Vinay might hate me for this. I would take Ament over Okori, but he seems to think that Nate Ament is a giraffe. I will give brass tacks here. If KF is picked, it's pretty tough, but I am honestly more excited for the 30th pick than I am for the 9th one. Like, just do whatever you're going to do with the 9th pick. If you're going to trade it back to get another first round pick or something like that, do it. If you're going to get another player, do it. I want to see what magic these guys have. Like, I don't hate Nate Ament. I don't. I think he's going to be good in the league. But I would much rather see a trade at 9 than see Nate Ament next to the Mavericks.
Well, this has been what feels like one of the longest commercial breaks of my life. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Oh. All right.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Kingston Flemings.
They just took Flemings.
Yep. They just took Flemings.
I guess that takes some of the heartbreak out of this. It's a great selection.
Absolutely fantastic selection, and he's going to be amazing over there.
Bummer. Okay, I mean, who do you have as the BPA right now? Like, or for the Mavs specifically?
I would probably say Burries. Yeah, honestly, I would say Burries. My thing with Mara is I just don't know if I believe that shot will improve. Again, I keep saying it. If the Mavericks are looking at him and they're saying, we have Lively, don't pick him. If you think his shot can be something, pick him. If that's the case, he is more than serviceable. But this is... Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, just saying. I probably would have Burries right here for the Mavs as well, just because I do think we need another guard really badly, and he's got some pretty good upside too. But a couple weeks ago when we all talked, the four of us talked, and you guys made the case for Mara on the Mavs because maybe balancing him out with D Live in case D Live is slow to return from his injuries or he gets hurt again. And in the best case scenario where they're both healthy and they have, and you got one of the best center tandems in the league when it comes to like defense, it's hard to say no to that, I think, from a fit perspective. So I don't know. It's tough to say because like you have a unique talent at center and you have a pretty unique talent, or not a unique talent, but a pretty high upside talent at guard still with Burries. So
yeah, I think the obvious downside of Fleming's not being on the board here is that the Mavericks don't have their point guard of the future, right? So Burries is going to be your combo guard. He's going to be that 2. Mara is a 5. I can see it being good even if you think Lively is still slotted in as the number 1 because it makes Gafford way more tradable. I mean, that could be like a boom boom, right? A 1-2. It could go either way, but now I'm leaning towards they're going to pick Burries or they're going to trade down. I do not see them taking Mara at this point. If they do, then they successfully smokescreened even me because I was the highest one on Mara of our entire show, and I don't believe it at this point. So,
yeah, shit, man, I'm nervous, dude.
Actually, you know what? I can see it being Mara. Because of the coach, I can see it being Mara.
You're right. Ooh, the pig is in.
Let's go, baby. Damn, KF's dad has a lot of drip, dude. All right. What is your prediction for what this is?
I think realistically, Burries.
I can see it. I also don't think that the coaching hire necessarily has anything to do with who they're drafting.
Agreed.
Oh, they're showing Dusty May. Yeah, I am a Michigan State Spartans fan in college, so this is definitely my rival head coach. Shout out to Tom Izzo. But Dusty May is amazing. I also am happy on both ends because the Wolverines have a worse coach now. But no, great hire for the Mavericks.
If I didn't know you were a Michigan State fan, I could have guessed because you kind of play like Draymond in pickup.
Shut the fuck up, dude. I will cook your ass.
Sure.
Let's see. Playmaker stretch 4. I just don't see Mara being the obvious pick. If they pick him here, I have to think it is some level of influence from the hire.
Yeah, yes, or maybe a trade back situation because Milwaukee. I think there are reports that Milwaukee coveted him. They have 10. They don't have 13 at the moment officially, but they might be able to trade it after the draft because the Heat are picking that for them.
Oh,
There's another possible trade down scenario, but yeah.
With the 9th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Morez Johnson Jr.
holy shit.
I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it?
He is a really good player. I didn't expect him. I don't think anyone really expected him to go above Mara. Okay, but this goes to why I said what I said earlier when you asked of all the guys from Michigan, Lendeberg, Mara, and Morez, who is my favorite fit on the Mavs? Like who's the best one for the Mavs? And I said Morez, and it's very simple. I mean, he fits next to Coop. He doesn't immediately take away from Lively. That immediately makes me less nervous. But I did not expect this to be a pick at 9. I think what must have happened is they were trying to trade down and couldn't find a good enough deal. But this is way better than Nate Ament. I'm going to be brutally honest. And it's not because Ament is bad at basketball. Ament needs to be a project player on a team that gives him high usage. This isn't that team, not next to Cooper Flag. This, I think, is a fit decision more than it is best player available. And that, I think, will be controversial.
Yeah, I'd happen to say so as well. He definitely slots in at the 4 at the NBA level. Yes, maybe he can play some small ball 5, which signals to me. I mean, if we're going for front court here, and assuming this doesn't get traded further back, then I don't know. I mean, I think immediately that would imply that Cooper's going to play more of the 1 going forward in the future. Which again, a guy like Cooper, I think he can play 1 through 4 pretty effectively. But if we're continuing on with the path of him developing his perimeter skills, that's interesting for sure. Again, I think like the Mavs have always had a vision for a while now between front offices of having like a positionless basketball, kind of like trying to be modern, trying to have a 5-out offense. So does this draft pick, further that goal? I think so. And it's very interesting to see how they're going to, respond from here, what they're going to do in free agency and whatnot. And the other picks they might make, there's still definitely room for a trade, in my opinion. They're trying to get off their vets. Maybe Daniel Gafford's gone. Maybe Clay's gone. Maybe they're moving up from 30 to like 25 or something like that, what have you. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, Rapper reaction is that this is a very interesting pick here at 9, but we got to see, I think, how the rest of this first round pans out. There might be more moves.
I think that there's most definitely a lot of chatter going on right now. I want to hear what he has to say.
What does this moment mean to you?
This moment means a lot to me, man. I've been thinking about this since I was a little kid. Dallas always been a place I wanted to go. And it's insane that I'm actually going to Dallas.
And Dad, I can see what it means to you. Can you describe what you're feeling right now?
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. He worked hard for it, though. Real hard.
And you told him back in 6th grade when he was doubting himself a little bit that you told him what he had to do to make his dreams come true. What was What was your message to him?
Just work hard, keep working, outwork everybody. You will make it. And he was saying, like, ignore all the outside noise. You're going to catch up to him later.
What do you think about following Coach May to Dallas now?
Man, it's insane. The Michigan Mavs now. But I'm very grateful for this opportunity, man, and I'm excited to do it with my coach. We won together this past season. I'm looking forward to winning with him in the match when I get there.
Looking forward to seeing you in the NBA.
What I will say here, I think this is a pretty big intangible pick as well. This is something that the coach May being the decider probably had something to do with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, everybody has been singing the praises of Dusty May so far these past, the past 24 hours ish. I think, again, I'm not the most well versed in the college sphere, but if he believes in his own player and he thinks he can contribute to the Mavs, then I'm all for it. I assume there must be some kind of vision here that fits well with next Coop, as we've been talking about. So, again, I'm definitely not negative on this. I think the worst case scenario, if we had drafted Ament, we'd probably be singing a much different, much more negative tune. So, yeah. Got to see how the rest of this plays out, though.
Yeah, well said. I will be honest, I am a little disappointed because I wanted LeBaron Phylon. I was holding out for a trade down, pick LeBaron situation. And Burry's going to the Bucks presumably is. I mean, he's a good player. He would fit a need for the Mavs, but I don't know what this indicates about that. Mara more or less just makes sense. I just choose to believe that there's no way they're picking at 30 or trying to pick at 30 at this point. They have to be trying to move to like 25 with LA or something like that.
I'm sure there is a lot of smoke involved with that, and definitely all for moving up. Not to say that there won't be good players at 30, but definitely, there's going to be better players if we move up. So, yeah, I don't know though. Towards your point about shit, I don't. Sorry, the Celsius is crashing for me, but
you're good. I was talking about Burries.
Yeah, Burries would be good for sure.
Phylon?
Yes, Phylon. So I think, you were talking about intangibles for Morez, and I think Phylon's got great intangibles as well. And if you talk about, portability, he played in a lot of different contexts throughout his couple of seasons in college basketball. I think he can occupy different roles. So, yeah.
And he's just a laser to get inside. I think that takes a huge that, and he handles the ball. He's your primary playmaker, right? And he can do a little bit of shot creating himself. So Braden Burries is,
but Burries just went to the Bucks.
Yeah. It's a good pickup for them. I mean, they have a pretty talented bench and not many good starters. So we will see what that team has around him.
Yeah, you got Ryan Rollins, Burries, you got Tyler Hero, you got Kyle Kuzma. I know they still have Miles Turner. They're trying to move off of him. They have Khalil Ware, they have Jaime Jaquez, they have Yakuchonis.
Kaspar, yeah.
That's a weird roster. I assume they have to make some big moves because they can't really fit all those players in. There's quite a bit of overlap, probably to the detriment of the younger players.
Yeah, that is a really tough position to be in, and as a lifelong Miami Heat hater, I have to say, Giannis, you will never be Dirk. Never in your life.
In terms of legacy, moving on to a different team, yeah.
That was the thing for me, that was the thing that was keeping Giannis in my, he has to be an all-timer if he stays all of these years and they're like a perennial playoff contender. You got to at least talk about him like Kevin Garnett, right? Because he led his team to a championship as the best star. So, maybe even better. But I don't know. Definitely the way it was handled and the way that clearly he didn't want to be in Milwaukee, but was tweeting about like loyalty and like posting Instagram posts about staying and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that shit was annoying for sure.
Oh, actually, no. The worst one was, sorry to interrupt. The worst one was him doing the betting thing, and then him owning some stake in Kalshi. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, Dirk would never.
Dirk didn't even have a fucking manager, did he? Or he did have a manager. Yeah, somebody else he didn't have.
Yeah. So,
The Warriors are up.
yes, sir.
This is the first pick I can see completely being a trade. Because I don't know if they want Mara. I just don't know.
He would be a great fit for Golden State, though.
He would be, especially because, you know, once Draymond is gone, you have somebody who does the little things and some of the passing as well. Defensive stopper.
But are you suggesting they would, try to leverage the 11th pick in a win now trade for some veteran?
Yeah, I think that there are defensive. Honestly, this is what the Mavs should be doing. If anything, if I was the Mavs, I'd be looking at PJ Washington for Trey Murphy or something like that, or not Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. But I'm not sure that you could necessarily get that trade done. Yeah, it's just this is the first pick where the player that you take is not necessarily going to be that much better than if you pick 6 picks later. So I can see this being a trade down situation. They also just don't have young assets after Curry. So I actually could see them just picking best player available right now.
Yeah. Let's see.
Pick's not in yet, which is interesting.
Yeah, they could be working on a trade for sure. What was I going to say? Oh, just going back to Morez Johnson for a second. Like, I don't think we touched on it, but in that interview with his family, he did say that he wanted to end up in Dallas. So, I don't know if that's like what a tiny bit of lip service or what. I'm trying not to be cynical. I'm fully believing him here, but yeah, again, I'm all for players who actually want to be here. So, welcome.
Dallas is a nice city. I completely understand why players would be like, I like playing here. It's also central in the United States, so it's not like a huge move. I know some players have family on a different coast. You know, if they start playing on the West Coast, it's a huge difference in their lives. That's not something that we see as fans, but maybe that has something to do with it. It's, I think, a way better pick. Obviously, this is in hindsight, than Dennis Smith Jr. Right. Dennis Smith Jr. was going against, you were betting against the physicals to go purely off of talent and film, and it just didn't translate. In this case, there is really none of that. The bigger thing is I don't think you're not getting crazy scoring nights from this guy, but you are going to get some really nice rebounding games. Like really, really nice rebounding games. And that alone is going to change the texture of this team. It's been a big reason why the Mavericks have kind of faltered more while Derek Lively has been out these last 2 seasons, because they don't have a lot of very good rebounders. Give Gafford credit. He is capable, but he is not the best rebounder. He is undersized. So Morris Johnson obviously is a 4. He's undersized if you're battling with centers, but he is, what, 250 pounds? 250 pounds around, what, 6'10"? So
yeah,
that is what he does.
I pulled that up right now. At the combine, he measured at 6'9" barefoot, 251 pounds, 7'3.5" wingspan, 8'11" standing reach. Like those are some really good measurements. I think that's similar to Robert Williams, which, again, in his prime before the injury struck him, he was wasn't he the co-depoy one year? So, and also a 39-inch max vert.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
No, he's just clearly a great athlete. Okay,
To
the pick is
quote our
in.
friend Richie, he says in Mavs draft, for those again who are not aware, Mavs fans should be incredibly excited about this elite defensive duo next to Cooper, but also with Lively as Morez's jumper grows. This was my number one choice for Dallas if they couldn't take a point guard, which, I mean, that's a pretty strong endorsement. I'm pretty excited about this.
I think culturally, this is going to be a pretty big one. Pretty big one. This feels like a Dorian move. You're picking like the Dorian Finney-Smith of this squad, like the glue guy, the maybe not the heart because that's a little bit of Cooper, but this is another one of those players that fits that mold. Okay, they got a Yaxel.
Oh wow!
We'll see.
I mean, that's
we'll
again.
See.
Yeah, that's another great pick for Golden State. I think Yaxel fits in really well with them. I'm not. I wouldn't be complaining if I was a Warriors fan. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I was surprised because there was so much smoke around the Thunder that I assumed that, some trade is coming down the line. I'm still thinking it, but I can see what OKC was thinking, but he's a perfect pick for this team that doesn't have a huge amount of, let's say, blue chip athletic talent, or not blue chip, 5-star athletic talent, right? Just very hyper competitive, very capable. It doesn't matter that he's old or older than the rest of his class. Very, very capable player. Reminds me a lot of what they were doing with Draymond and those drafts, and even picking up Iggy, is going after these guys that, set up the play for the guys who are the superstars. So I think he's going to be nice next to Curry, but he is like the interim piece for them between this era and the next era.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with my timeline for a second here.
You're good. I am starting to think that the Thunder are going to pick Mara here. And
that would be sick.
It would be fucking
Vinay's doomsday scenario.
This is pretty fucking bad, actually. We will see.
Because you got your Isaiah Hartenstein replacement right there.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of where they end up, if they pick a guard, they need to move off of one of their guys anyways at this point. So they're kind of just filling a gap, and it being in this draft class. If it's Mara, it's going to be super scary because you have Mara, Chet, Wemby, Cornet, Lively, all in one conference.
Yeah, definitely scary times for any other conference in the league.
Yeah, meanwhile, the East is consolidating around Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So,
are you saying that like it's a bad thing or what?
I'm saying that like that's the best they have.
That is pretty freaking ridiculous. I think that's one of the best, maybe the best defensive front court in the league, top 2 possibly. But and if they have at the 3, they probably have Andrew Wiggins coming back most likely, which again he's a little older, but he's still really, really solid as a role player. Yeah, we're not a Heat podcast though, so who cares about those motherfuckers?
Yeah, the guard play is the bigger thing. Like, I don't. Who is it? Davion Mitchell. They still have Davion Mitchell. I don't believe in Davion Mitchell being the starting point guard for a team that takes Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo to a title or a conference championship or anything that actually means anything. And that is what that level of talent should get you. All I mean to say is the West is a bloodbath and the East is Candyland, basically.
Yeah, I mean I think the East is its own bloodbath because, like, I do believe that a lot of those teams are, those projected playoffs teams are in the same tier in terms of like how stacked they are. Do I think the West is better? Yeah, but as we've seen, anything can happen in the finals. The Knicks just won it. Indiana was one game away, one Achilles tear away, maybe. Yeah, shit happens, dude. Oh, dude, I was gonna tweet this for my personal today, but I am so pissed at the events of yesterday. The 1 year that the Celtics had to be like hyper competent, hyper stacked, stars on top of superstars. Like, if we just had to go against them, like, I just our luck, huh? And now they're very possibly imploding because Jaylen Brown probably doesn't want to be there anymore, and understandably so.
Yeah, no, he was. He's gonna be doing fine though. He's gonna get a new contract wherever he ends up, and he has that Nutrafol sponsorship. So his hairline looks better than it looked last year. I'm just gonna be super honest with you here, dude. I do not know what the Mavericks are looking to do with their guard rotation. You just have a lot of shooters, and the whole league is a high variance 3-point shooting team. I think more as especially as a screener and just near the basket with rebounding can help those guys get shots and get volume, but I don't think Coop is the pure point to get all these guys where they need to get the ball. I don't think that is. I don't think he fulfills the primary playmaker role. And Kyrie can do that, right? Like, they can work off of each other, but I still, is a Corey the missing piece? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say Cooper is going to be the option at point guard, the primary. He shouldn't be the primary next season, possibly not ever. But yeah, we definitely still have, like, again, D Live, Gafford, PJ, Najee, Morez. There's a lot going on there. Like, I don't think you can really slot Cooper in at the 4 anymore, like I was saying, as a backup position, unless, again, the Mavs are dealing with hella injuries and stuff, which, who knows? We don't have, I think, a head of medical staff hired yet, but still, I trust Masai. See, Ademar goes to the Thunder. That's crazy.
Justin May is very happy. And I get it. Those are his guys, but next year maybe he'll have a different opinion of Ademar ending up with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Because I do not feel great about this. I really don't. 7-3 in no shoes. The number one thing he can do is block shots. You just gave them a guy who could very well have gotten them to the finals this year. So,
yeah, I mean, they could make it to the finals without him. They could draft a bust at 12 and 17 and still make it to the finals. So it's going to be fucking ridiculous going against OKC. They can probably play Chet at the 4 full time, which, again, yikes.
Yeah. This is well, we'll have to see how Chet comes in next season because he really did not have a great last series. But no, this takes the pressure off of him in a big way. I mean, how much help does Shai Gilgeous-Alexander need? How much help does he need? He has Jalen Williams. He has what's his name? AJ Mitchell, uh, Alex Caruso, Chet Holmgren, now Ade Mara, and the refs. And the refs.
And Lou Dort and Jared McCain.
I forgot about Jared McCain. Or should I say Dylan Harper?
Yeah. If you count them, Nikola Topic, Thomas Sorber, he's supposed to be coming back.
Dude. That team was being assembled while Nico Harrison was debating whether Nikola Jokic was on the same level as Drew Holiday.
Stop, dude. I don't want to hear anything about the fucking... I do not want to think about that. We actually had that guy in charge.
I mean, the silver lining here is pretty obvious, right? That's, we don't have that guy in charge anymore. Like, anything is better than that. But I mean, look at these last 2, now 3 picks. I mean, Miami could pick who here? LeBaron Philon? LeBaron Philon next to Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo is fucking amazing.
No, that pick they're selecting for Milwaukee. So this is going to
Oh,
Milwaukee.
you're right. Yeah. Okay, well, if LeBaron goes next to Burries, that might be tough. But this might be in a Corey.
Yeah, could be Burries, could be a Corey. I think those would be great picks here at 13.
There's also Sturts, right? There's like a whole host of guys around 20 that could go a little bit higher. So
yeah, if I had to guess, Sturts is a decent pick in this range. He might be getting faded just because of his age. Yeah, and again, I think I mentioned earlier that the Bucks were rumored to be one of the teams that were coveting Ament. So maybe he gets picked here.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
What does it say about me that I was defending him earlier and I completely forgot he was still on the board? Yeah, shout out Vinay. Vinay's gonna go to the club tonight. Meet Morez Johnson in person. Get him on the podcast.
Yeah, better, man. If he meets him, he'd better.
Absolutely, man. I would love to have him on the podcast. First question I'm gonna ask him: well, what made you want to be in Dallas when you were that young? He said 6th grade. In 6th grade, if you had asked me where I wanted to be, the number one thing I would have told you is not Dallas.
So, well, I mean, currently you don't live in Dallas, so
it's a nice city. I wouldn't be against moving back there, but like when I was young, that's not what I thought. So I think it tells you a lot about a person, right? Why they think something like that. But who knows? Maybe it's just PR.
Let's see, 6th grade, he would have been this is maybe 8 years ago. So maybe he was seeing Luka's rookie season or something like that. He was like, I'm going to play with that guy. Little did he know.
Wait, that makes perfect sense. He was in 6th grade watching Luka Doncic in his rookie season. He was like, oh my God, I want to be drafted to the Dallas Mavericks. And he gets drafted to the Dallas Mavericks. Actually, if he was on the podcast, that's what I would ask. What was your reaction to the Luka Doncic trade? Okay, after this is Charlotte, Chicago. I am thinking that you're probably not breaking into this until 17. Like, I think OKC's next pick is the first pick that will move that I'm kind of confident in.
Yeah, I don't think it's been on the broadcast yet, but I am getting slight spoilers on my timeline from Mike Scotto. Like, do you care if I start spoiling the picks or no? Okay. I don't know, maybe for just the benefit of our viewers, I'm not gonna yet because we're still in the lotto, but yeah, I'm not super surprised that who got picked at 13.
I mean, do you mind if I do it?
Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Like nobody cares about the who the Bucks, the Hornets, and the Bulls are getting out of our audience.
Sure, out of our audience, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, yeah, Nate Ament is going to the Bucks. I'm not. We haven't gotten any chats in here, but I'm sure people are replying to the Twitter stream and the YouTube streams. And unfortunately, just because like I'm afraid my laptop might blow up if I try to check those two, I haven't gotten to look at any of the comments. But maybe if you can, we can address them because I'd love to talk with you viewers.
I don't think anyone's there, dude. I was the only one on our Twitter earlier.
Okay. I mean, yeah, everybody's attention is split like 7 ways to Sunday, so it makes sense.
I mean, it don't really matter. I don't think it really changes anything.
No, it doesn't. But you have to try to be a gracious host, and if people are asking questions, then you might as well try to answer.
You've been doing a good job, by the way.
Appreciate it. Everybody on our timeline on MFR is just like clamoring for a trade, and of course I'm the same way because there are still so many great players left on the board. But yeah, it's hard to see. Like you were saying, that 17 is probably the most realistic place where a trade up starts to happen, which I kind of agree with. But yeah,
that's the first team I think that can afford to do it, if that makes sense, in this draft. Also, we do have comments. It's just they're not showing up in this. On Twitter, we got all caps who. We got to be trading the pick, right? I don't mind this pick. Probably trading Gafford or PJ. We're happy, yes. I don't know about the guy we got. Is he good? But I will check YouTube shortly. Nate Ament will be headed to Milwaukee. I think that's a great landing place for Nate Ament. Just the level of talent, and I'm being serious here, the level of talent that team has, they don't have a star. That's kind of the perfect position for a guy like him who could grow a couple more inches, who can get to the basket and has some moments where you're like, ooh, who is this guy? And some moments where you're just like, this guy is not lethal, right? And it'll give him the opportunity to have a team where he gets to do that. Now, do I think it's going to pan out? Not sure, and that's why I'm kind of glad he's not in a Mavs uniform. But there's also a reason why he was talked about as one of the best players in this class leading up to this season. I mean, already 2'11", 6'9.5". Like, you can play him. If his shooting gets better, you can definitely play him at the 3. But at the 4, he has this little pull-up game, and they're showing clips right now. But really in the middle of traffic against, guys his own age, double teams, 2 guys playing on him at the same time, he also doesn't give up on plays. He's a decent defender. Like, there's a lot to like about his game. It's just his 3-point shooting that would have to glue it together. So again, this is a great pick for the Bucks. This is a great place for Nate Ament to land.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to be a project. Like the Bucks aren't going to be doing anything anytime soon, so he has all the opportunity, all the time in the world to develop. No pressure. I will say again, like I'm not the most plugged in draft Twitter guy, so I will say, like just yesterday, I was reading one positive sign for him is that later on in the college season, like he had a very streaky shooting year from the perimeter, but like the last couple games of the season, he had a very good stretch where he was shooting like efficiently from 3 on volume. And again, like it's not like he's a completely terrible defender, and part of this is probably just because of his frame and because he's young. So I do think he has he has the chance to develop as a 3-and-D big man, which is obviously that's huge. That's very valuable for today's NBA. Um, it's all the other aspects about basketball that are quite a bit more questionable at this current moment, at this juncture. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not our problem. Is all I'll say.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced that that shot is going to be good enough for him to be in the top section of the league, which at his frame, that's what you are projecting from him, which is probably why he was picked here and not, I guess, at 11, where the Bucks picked Burries. I guess this is a huge part of their consolation is Nate Ament, though, so good on them. Not sure that it really does much, but I guess they got 2 more first-round picks in case this one doesn't pan out for them. Who are the Hornets gonna? I like at this point, all I'm thinking about is Phylon, Sturts, Akori. And I forget the guy who's from Würzburg, but maybe him around 20.
Haynes Steinbach.
Yeah, Steinbach. Him maybe 20-ish, but all this for Bobby Portis, bro. What the fuck? For the Bucks, yeah, Khalil Ware, Hero, Burries, and then Nate, I think is a decent enough talent pool. It's just like, is Hero your point guard?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a tweet that the Bucks value Hero, but they're still looking at trade options for him, which I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think in my opinion, he shouldn't stay on the Bucks. He should be shipped off for more assets. You want him here.
Hey, if they're buying him out, fuck yeah, dude. What do you mean? I get to have Tyler Hero shot making without none of the, oh my god, we're paying Tyler Hero how much? Like,
I don't think
if it's
they're
just
not buying him out. If they were buying him out, he'd be like one of the most coveted assets in the league. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, trade wise, you're right. Like, I mean, actually, let me look at his contract because he's definitely making more than Clay, but
yeah, he's making a good amount. He's making like, I think in the avenue of 30 million.
he probably only has 1 year left. Yeah, it's a $30 million deal.
Hey, look at me.
Yep,
I know ball.
33.
Yeah, you're right. He's an expiring deal. It's interesting. I have no idea what an extension looks like for him in this era of team building with all the cap restrictions.
He's not getting one, dude. Not from Milwaukee, unless he just has like an insane season that they're just like, okay, we have your bird rights, we need to lock you up. I think this is a very clear case of trading him mid-season as an expiring to a team that he wants to resign with. I think maybe potentially he could end up in LA. Like, they don't have a lot of better options to kind of go for if they're keeping Reeves. So I don't know, like yeah, I don't know. If it's purely for salary, I can see what's his name. I don't think anyone's trading for Dalton Connect, but I can see him thrown in a deal. Who did Charlotte pick?
Okay, the Hornets are picking.
They got Steinbach, baby.
We were just talking about him. I don't know about you, but I am a believer in his game. I think at least offensively, he has very solid upside, even if he's not quite the shooter that you'd expect him to be, you know, occupying the 4 or 5 tweener slot in the NBA. But still, I think like his process, his, you know, inside scoring, his rebounding, his physicality, his athleticism, I think that all will translate well to the NBA. Defensively, of course, you know, big men take time to develop, especially on that end, if they're not already like naturally great at defense. So what his upside, I mean, like his ceiling is as a player in the NBA, not 100% sure if he's going to be like, even all-star level, but I think he's a very safe pick, especially for 14. The Hornets are, yeah, they select another wide big man, but this might be one of the better ones out there that they could have gotten.
It's definitely the best one that they've done in a while. I mean, the last one that I remember
Yeah.
them picking was what's his name? Frank Kaminsky.
Kaminsky
Yeah.
and Kalkbrenner this past season, and
I
Cody
forgot
Zeller
about
back in
him.
the day. Number 4 overall pick, Cody Zeller.
It's crazy. No, yeah, Steinbach, it's just tenacious. I mean, he's one of those guys that I wanted a Mavs uniform for a similar reason to why. I mean, you got Morez, so it doesn't really make sense anymore. But he's going to be great on that team. You know, they need somebody who can do a little bit of everything at that position. I mean, he's not a playmaker, but I mean, they're showing his playmaking from the post. The vision that is going to help be some glue for those guys on the court. Now they're showing a picture of Steinbach's dad and Dirk
Ooh.
on their team together, on their club league team together.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Love to see
The
Dirk.
Bulls are up. Shout out Dirk.
Yeah, Bulls selecting at 15. Okay, Rohan, I know that you said you're gonna you got to go soon-ish, so just want to keep that in mind for you. We might be wrapping up here soon.
Yeah, it might be 15 minutes. I'll double check just because it's a social engagement, so I'll have to check the map situation. Yeah, there's not really much more to say throughout the rest of the first round until the 30th pick comes, but I'm also hoping a trade.
Shit, they got Dirk talking. I don't know about you. I can't hear the audio on my feed from Dirk.
It's playing through the stadium. Yeah, it's
That's
playing through the
awesome,
stadium and
dude.
directly to them, but like not to us.
That's beautiful. All right, as soon as the draft is over, I'm going to look up that clip because I do want to hear what Dirk has to say.
Yeah, me too.
And for everybody who is currently viewing, after the first round is over, I am going to be back on. Rohan will most likely be gone, but Jay will be joining us for our recap of the first round and our reactions. And I think, we're going to have some very, very interesting things to talk about. We're probably not going to go on for like an hour and a half plus, but yeah, I'm still excited to talk.
Yeah, it's going to be a good episode. It's sad that I'm going to miss it, but that's why we got this in. The Mavericks have talent. Don't get me wrong. I can see the team building philosophy. I like the pick. I like the pick a lot the more I think about it. But the guard rotation doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. Nembhard makes sense. All the pieces individually make sense. Together, not quite seeing it. And this is a team that relied on Brandon Williams last year, right? Like, we're going to have Kyrie coming into the season. He seems very, very focused. I'm excited, but Kyrie's playmaking has never been what, a Luka's playmaking was, and he was the primary playmaker for the team, right? So him next to Cooper, I can understand him next to Cooper and Ryan. I just think that there's a defensive issue there. I don't think that they can really play together for extended stretches of time. And if they do, it's like very experimental lineups. So I frankly just don't see where the playmaking is going to come from throughout, especially as they figure out the bench. Ryan can fit there, but for the starting lineup, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think defensively, both Nembhard and Brandon Williams are quite limited. Nembhard, that's just unfixable, unfortunately, just because of his size. Even though he does try, like I'm not trying to denigrate him, but he's just pretty limited in what he can do. He's a very smart player on both ends, or at least, and he's tries, but again, like he's pretty limited to like. I'd be kind of surprised if he's a second string point guard anytime soon, unless he just like puts in a shit ton of amount of work into his game, which he could. But yeah, Brandon Williams, my issue with him is like, okay, look, in the 24-25 season, when he really came on for the Mavs, he kind of had a Yogi Ferrell sort of breakout where his 3-point shot was falling and he looked like there were some nights where he looked like Kyrie Jr. He was unstoppable as a scorer. And like, again, I was by that point in the season, I was distraught, but I was like, man, this guy's a hooper. I can't believe we like hit on this. But that hasn't been the story for his career, his 3-point shot, and we saw it this year. Um, he's not the best defender. He's doesn't put in the most effort on that side of the court. He's got a bit of tunnel vision at times. He looks for his own shot, he creates his own shot well, but as far as what he does for others, it's definitely, that's not his primary objective on the court. Yes, he is probably like a second string talent, but is he fit with the Mavs as we're currently constructed? I don't know. And again, if you're going to be a small guard in the NBA, you got to be able to shoot from distance. And he took a big step back on that regard. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think he is better off somewhere else because he is absolutely an NBA player, but he's not. I don't know if he's like the guy if he makes sense on this team, especially if we're going to keep Nembhard around. It's tough to say. It's really tough to say. And you can't play either, like you were saying, you can't play either of those guys with Kyrie like for extended minutes. I don't know. I think some big changes are coming, but it's tough to predict. Like, would he be part of a sign and trade, Brandon Williams? Who knows? I think good asset management is probably keeping him around for at least a year and then seeing what we can get for him in the future. But nah, it's very much our backcourt. It's a work in progress.
Isn't he a free agent this offseason?
Yeah, he is. So we have to sign him back.
I mean, here's my thing. There's just an overlap between him and Kyrie, sure, but don't we still have Jaden Hardy on this team? Or am I
No,
tripping?
we traded him.
No, we traded him to Washington, right?
Yeah, him and D'Lo.
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, him and D'Lo haven't played for them, so it just kind of you don't remember it. You're just like, oh yeah, I guess that kind of D'Lo you remember because it's D'Lo. Jaden Hardy, like, but I don't know how you can move forward by employing both Nembhard and Brandon Williams. I'm going to be brutally honest. Like, I understand good asset management and stuff like that, but I just don't think he fits on this team. And Kyrie coming back is obviously the priority. So I don't know. I can see him us just losing him for nothing, and that might be bad asset management, but I wouldn't say that that's a bad thing necessarily.
Yes, I agree. Like, I mean, even if it's bad asset management, like we have so many roster spots that are already like entrenched and occupied that it's going to be tough to fit him in. We have like a whole roster logjam. Okay, that being said, Dalen Swain just went at 15, which I think is a little high for him, but I've seen him all over the place on mock drafts. Like, so I guess it's not super surprising. He was commonly mocked to OKC in a lot of these mock drafts as well. So that's a pretty good pick for Chicago, I think. I saw a lot of people who said they wanted him for the Mavs. I don't know if I agreed with that, but he is for sure. Like he's probably going to be a good player in the NBA.
I mean, I can see it, but I don't mean to compare in a flagrant way, but I'm a Michigan State fan. I saw Denzel Valentine. I thought, hey, he's going to be better than the way he was, and he was garbage. So, there's some guys, they have the skills. You'll see them play outside the NBA and they're killers. And in the NBA, they are, they don't pan out. So we'll see. I'm not saying that that's necessarily who he's going to end up as, because a lot of this is about the way you think. And I do think his IQ is a little higher than Valentine's, but none of these guys are movers for Mavs for me. I think Morez is the better pick than all of these guys.
Yeah, I'd agree. Do you mean like every single pick between 9 and 15?
Uh, I mean, let me think. Because Burries, then what happened?
Yaxel,
Not
Mara,
Mara. Yeah, then Yaxel, then Mara, then Ament.
and
Yeah,
Steinbach.
I would say Steinbach, and then this. I would say are good picks, but the only guys in that range that I would have been like, oh yeah, give me him as a Mav before we saw the pick tonight would have been on trading down, if that makes sense.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, no, the more I've like read reactions from people who are in the know on these players, the higher I am on Johnson. So
Yeah,
again,
he
like,
has some real room to grow.
yeah, got to do a deeper dive, and I think hopefully, when we all talk next time, whenever Renee's available, there's going to be a lot more to say, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Um, yeah, we got Memphis at 16 coming up, and again, excited for various reasons, not because of whoever they might pick, because they're definitely not trading it. But after that comes OKC, and yeah, where that, like you said, that's probably a very realistic candidate to trade that pick. So
I'm assuming Cam Carr is coming off the board here. Kareem Lopez, I'm assuming, is gonna sit closer to 20. LeBaron though is the outlier, right? Like LeBaron could go to Memphis here, and that would also be quietly very good. Him next to Cedric Coward, yeah, Zach Edey.
yeah,
Memphis, I don't know what they're doing, but that's a good core. Oh well, Cam Boozer too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've seen people say that there's no way that LeBaron slides past Toronto at 19. So yeah, that's where I'm looking. If he goes anywhere past that, I agree. That would be like kind of crazy.
I will allow myself to crash out though.
About what?
Cam Boozer should not be a Grizzly. AJ DeBonsa should not be a fucking Washington Wizard. Darren Peterson should not be a Utah Jazz, okay? I mean, they could be, but they all should have been eligible to be Mavericks first. Okay? Like, yes, ownership turned it around mid-season. Not easy to do. Still, I mean, Morez isn't bad, but he's not that top tier.
Let's see, the Grizzlies are about to have their
All you had to do was bench Chris Middleton. Okay,
wow, they
Sturts.
just selected a Sturts. Completely
LeBaron.
forgot about him. By the way, did you check YouTube? Because just before we probably get out of here, I want to see if there's anybody talking over there.
It's probably smart. Let me check.
Oh shit, wait. Damn. Okay, they are trading. Memphis is trading Sturts to OKC for 2 second-round picks. Huh.
So is OKC picking LeBaron, or are they taking a Corey? That's what I would assume. You have 2 back-to-backs.
Yeah, but they just picked a guard as well, so I don't know.
That's true. Kareem Lopez. I could see Kareem Lopez being the next pick.
Damn, I find this hard to believe, man. You could probably, I don't know about you. I have LeBaron higher than Sturts, like for sure. And 16 is pretty lucrative. You could have picked anybody and traded it back for something better than 2 future seconds. This is, I mean, there's no,
Yeah,
they're not trying to be cheap here, are they? Ownership? I didn't think that, I know they're a small
I
market
don't
team, but
think
I
they
didn't
are.
think they were like poor.
I think what you're missing is there has been hype on this kid since the season started. I mean, he is extremely coachable, does everything on the floor. It's just he's undersized. I mean, he puts forward the effort on defense. I mean, it's actually kind of phenomenal how active he is as a player. But when I saw him, when I saw his clips at the beginning of the NBA season last year, I simply said like he's not a top 20 pick. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty surprised here that they picked him to trade him to OKC. I think maybe we are higher on Phylon because of the way that he could fit in on this team and our need for a guard. But Sturts also has a lot of those really highlight worthy plays, and he's also a guard. So
Okay, hold on. Sorry. Shams was stupid. I'm sorry, my brother, my brown brother, but they're swapping 16 and 17, and OKC is giving 2 more seconds on top of that. That makes a lot more sense.
that actually makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, Vinay is kind of dooming about Sturts going to the Thunder. He thinks that's a great pick.
It is.
Which
I
again,
mean, think of Lou Dort, maybe being the odd man out over there in terms of that guard rotation, or Case and Wallace having to be moved. Sturts is like an excellent, ancillary guard rotation player. I mean, that's the perfect position for him. He instantly is just like he can be a microwave player. If he really develops, he can be a microwave player.
yeah, I saw somebody saying that's the Isaiah Joe replacement, which again, to get off Joe's contract because he's making a significant amount of money, that's pretty good if they can do that.
I forgot about
And
Isaiah Joe.
just for everybody's information, Mark Stein has the video clip of Dirk congratulating Steinbach, so on his account. So whenever y'all get a chance to look at that, if you're interested in hearing what Dirk has to say. Okay, let's see.
I can see this being Phylon. Getting Phylon and then trading Jaw is like one makes the other possible. Like I would be surprised if they didn't pick him at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Jaw's value is still probably at a low across the league, so um, I don't know. They might. I think, of course, he gets traded sooner rather than later, but right now during the offseason, who knows? They might want to try to see how it goes with their whole core with Jaw, but I don't think that's the worst idea.
All right, so Phylon's probably, the next guy up, but I pretty much have to wrap it soon and get ready to go. I could see Cam Carr being a pick as well. Cam Carr and Cedric Coward would be crazy. CC.
Yeah, that does feel like a very Memphis pick. They love their wings, especially, defensive 3D wings. Yeah. Um, okay. Let's probably just make this the stopping point. Like, let's see who goes at 17. Um, they panned in on Carr, but I don't think that's officially the pick yet.
Let
And
me
then,
read the comments because I keep forgetting.
oh yeah, go ahead. We should address that, and then talk about 17, and that's going to be it until after the first round is over.
Okay, I am not seeing comments. It's because the live stream is shown as made for kids, bro.
Really? What?
On YouTube, yeah. I think I might have accidentally hit it on the flag.
No, I mean that's fine. Like that's whatever. I don't care. Like if that's our mistake, but that's so stupid that YouTube just has that for kids feature.
Or that it should ask for double confirmation.
That too.
I'm astonished that we got 7 likes. Nobody could comment. Okay. Damn. Yeah, LeBaron's wearing some hexagonal glasses. And
Okay,
his eye is
so
red.
the Grizzlies have traded back again from 17 to 21 with Detroit, and they get an additional 3 second-round picks, which, wow, that they're stacking up on those, and I think that's very good strategy. And Detroit is selecting at 17 now.
Corey's gone.
Okay, it's a Corey at 17. That's a great pick for Detroit, in my opinion. Plus value for sure. Probably is already better for them than Sasser already. I don't know. I like Marcus Sasser, but I don't know if he's like, he's long for Detroit. So okay, to recap, all this happened. We have gotten up to pick 17. You got to go soon. There are no YouTube comments because YouTube is stupid, and basically everything that we had on Twitter has been addressed from a couple minutes ago, which was mostly a surprise at our 9th pick.
I can check
Okay.
Twitter again.
Oh yeah, okay. One more time.
I also did fix it, so when you change it in the dashboard or when whoever changes it, it should just work.
Okay, that's cool.
Holy shit, we tweet so much.
Okay, wait, before you say anything, I find it interesting. Brett Siegel tweeted this out an hour ago. Multiple teams had been trying to move up inside the top 12 to get Johnson. So he is coveted. He is coveted by several teams.
I mean, it makes sense. There isn't another player in this draft that has the same skill set and just overlaps him, right? Like after Cam Boozer, who's the second best 4 in the draft?
All right, so what have we got here as far as the comments?
Nothing new on Twitter. YouTube, you might find some. They should start rolling in at least from YouTube now on this end. But either way, you'll be on YouTube and on X when y'all go live or podcast later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, we should probably be wrapping it up.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
What are our final thoughts? Yeah.
Okay, final thoughts. Right, I'll go first. I think the more I've read about the reactions to this from people in the know, the more I like selecting Morris Johnson. I think he's definitely a very future NBA ready, like as in current suited for the current game at the 4. I think shades of Robert Williams, shades of beef stew. I've seen people compare him to Al Horford, like, just a couple minutes ago, which I don't know, man. I have no idea. Like, I'm not the one suited to give you these comparisons. Vinay definitely is. But all things considered, I think it's a great pick in terms of like the future fit. We absolutely have a logjam to clear out with the Mavs in not just the guards, but our forwards too. So I think trades are coming, if not today, then in the very near future throughout free agency. Um, I hope they're coming soon because I do want more draft picks right now, but we'll see. We'll see, and I think that there are. I do think that he could be a high impact player like right now, as far as when next season comes around. So I'm excited to see him play for the Mavs. I'm excited to see the fit next to Cooper. I am a believer in the fit, especially if the 3-point shooting is like translates to the NBA. Um, it's going to be huge. So, what are your thoughts?
Give me a sec. Let me kind of find my starting point again. I think an underrated part of this is culture and identity. And what this tells me is Morez is that guy who's communicating. His footwork is very, very good for somebody as big as he is. Like when I say big, I mean weighing as well as like being as tall as he is. I think his footwork is at a great foundation. And now that I think about it, that is a reason that I could see him being a lot better. Also, him being a lot younger. But the way he plays on a string, the fact that his coach in the NBA is going to be the same as his coach in college, I think that this is all setting him up to succeed. And the best thing for him and the best thing for the Mavs is you don't need him to be a 20 and 20 guy, 20 points, 20 rebounds to get this team where it needs to go, right? You can give me 10 and 20 or 10 and 10, right? And you got Musa, Gafford maybe is traded. If Lively is here for most of the season, I think that's a very, very good front court situation, especially next to Cooper, probably splitting his time between the 3, 4, and 1. So, not a perfect situation, I think, for the Mavs roster in general. But as far as finding somebody who fits next to Coop, I think it makes perfect sense. These are two guys that can be a nightmare for the other team defensively, and they control the game in multiple ways. Two guys who are deemed very, very coachable. I think that is what you're building around. So I'm excited to see what guard talent they get around them.
Well spoken. Yeah, I think we're just about done here. I'm going to note that at 18, Charlotte just selected Christian Anderson Jr., who I think that's a great pick, for them. He's one of the best perimeter shooters in the draft. You can never say no to that. And it looks like Rohan's gone, but just wanted to say thank you to everybody here who tuned in for our live reactions. And we'll be back at the end of the first round with a retrospective. It'll be me and Jay, and yeah, just watch this space. So thank you very much.